Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo with Trash Talk. Trash Talk this week is about what does a healthy relationship look like? Oh, and stick around to the end because I'm going to give you the 3 essential ingredients in a healthy relationship. You need to know these. Well, I used to go out to dinner with friends a lot, although now having your own family can cut down on that time quite a bit. Well, back in the day, inevitably I'd get home with my date and we'd start talking trash about the other couples. It's almost guaranteed that they were doing the same thing about us. Hey, we all do it. But what we were doing was in the search for an answer to this particular question. What does a healthy relationship even look like? Well, this might come as a shock to you, but most of what you think a healthy relationship is has been shaped by Hollywood. I know, that's probably not shocking at all, but the truth is that most of what people think is a healthy relationship is simply not sustainable. You can't sit in a hot tub and drink champagne all the time. You can't stare deeply into each other's eyes all the time. You can't stay up all night getting it on. You can't always be in agreement or starry-eyed in romance. And these are just a few of the unreasonable ideas many people have about relationships. And they make awesome pictures for a blog, but not very good relationship philosophies. Well, let me ask you, what do you think a healthy relationship looks like? Do you think it's 1 + 1 = 1? You know, that romantic notion that when 2 people get together, they fuse into a complete person, which implies that you are not very whole to begin with, by the way. Well, let's start by clearing up that equation right now. The reality is 1 + 1 = 3. That's right, when 2 people get together, they retain their individuality, and as a bonus, they create a third person. It's not that creepy. This third person is the magical entity that's created from the connection that they're sharing together. So connection is a good thing, but it's never going to be a cure for where you are not whole. And of course, a healthy relationship is where 2 people come together to share their lives, not to fuse together into one life. That's what they used to call codependency. You know, a lot of people on the intensity of a love relationship, they rely on it to create the artificial sense of love. And this intensity is really only the lust. It feels magical and all-consuming, but it's really just a way of avoiding dealing with our own sticky stuff inside. Hey, I was one of those people once. Yeah, me. I used to think that getting together and just burrowing into the other person's skin was the definition of love. I thought love meant we are one being. We do everything together. There is no you and I. There's only us. Well, that wasn't healthy love at all. In fact, healthy love is 2 separate people holding hands, facing the same horizon together, not wrapped together in one mushy ball of hormones and Al Green songs playing in the background. Your life is with that other person, not for the other person. Again, we all get it wrong listening to song lyrics about idealized romantic love. Just go take a look at some of those romantic song artists and look at how well their relationships have gone. Well, let me give you some signs that you're in an unhealthy relationship. This is going to help you quite a bit. You'll be able to figure out what the opposite of this is, of course, just by comparing. So some unhealthy things that point out what your relationship is are things like controlling, trying to make the other person do what you want to keep you feeling safe. Another unhealthy aspect is disregarding your wishes and desires, not respecting your no. No relationship security. You both threaten to leave the other one. You haven't influenced the other one in a positive way. And you've influenced them in negative ways that you can clearly see. Or they've influenced you in negative ways that you can clearly see. You get into heated emotional combat with your partner, bordering on verbal abuse. You manipulate each other, either overtly or covertly. You mock and ridicule each other, talking each other down. Oh, I've seen that one a lot. You stonewall each other, avoiding discussion about the topics that really matter. You don't believe your partner would be a good parent. Huge one. Either of you has been unfaithful without it being resolved through some healing. You're regularly tempted by the thought of a relationship with another person. Your arguments always go to extreme threats. If you don't, I'm gonna. No affection or positive mojo in your relationship. Your partner's stingy with effort when it comes to the work. You feel lonely when you're with them. Now, any of those signals could be your behavior, their behavior, or more likely both of you. But there's usually a contribution factor where each person has a small contribution to those unhealthy dynamics. Let me talk about something else right now. I want to throw this one in. How to make him want you. How to keep that fire burning. The essential element that keeps a healthy relationship together is the sharing of passion between you. It's what pulled you together at the start, right? But again, most people get together with a little bit of passion, and then they change over to cling mode to try and merge with their mate, or they stay together with only the weakest of bonds between them. You have to use attraction for each other and keep that feeling going. Yes, that means you have to work at it, and this is why most relationships fail. That's right, the only relationship that you're ever going to have that will be forever is the one that you, well, die in. Now that might sound awful and kind of harsh, but it's true, and it's important to consider. Every single one of your relationships, except the one where you or he dies in it, are going to fail, right? Because relationships only end one of two ways. Another way of looking at it, as a matter of fact, is that all of your relationships, until the one you're in right now, if you're in one, if you're not, well, still the same thing is true. All the relationships you've been in up until now have failed. Well, I don't consider them failures, but they did teach you something about yourself, right? And how to relate in an intimate relationship. You learn what you want by seeing what you don't want. And I call that a learning experience. So in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to have three important elements. Get ready, ladies, the climax of the video. Number one, healthy relationship element, you need healthy separation. You got to be separate and whole people before you can be together. Number two, healthy relationship element, you need common direction. You're separate, but you're facing in the same direction. And number three, healthy relationship element, you need shared passion. You have to have the most important energy between you to pull you together, like attraction, chemistry, sex, and probably most importantly, trust. Without that energy bonding between you, you're going to be like two orbiting stars that just can't find a balance of energy to stay together. And now that you know more about what a healthy relationship is, you're going to be able to look at your current or future relationship and understand better how to make that one work. And if you want to learn more about healthy relationships, you can read a little bit more about those essential traits by going on over to datingadviceguru.com/connection. That's datingadviceguru.com/connection. I'll tell you a little bit in that video about the different connection types or connection codes of men. This is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. As always, live and love with passion and talk a little trash.